Hello.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute.
This is 25.
This is episode number 25 and you were supposed to bring the streamers. Did you do it?
Could you superimpose them? Woo! There's a streamer.
No, remember I don't edit this.
You only edit yourself.
That's right. So this is
also,
episode
is your
number...
mom on that computer just looking at us?
Yeah. So I'm
gonna
building a
distract
website
me.
for my mom and she sent me some photos to use. Hey Mom, thanks for listening.
She's the cutest.
She is cute. Yeah. She has a podcast. I'm actually making a website
What's it
for her
about?
podcast. It's called the Loving Parent Podcast.
I need to listen to it
This is
already.
she's not a sponsor or anything.
Maybe she should.
Right? Loving Parent Podcast.
I need to listen to it.
It's about reparenting trauma, and she has actually more of a following than we do.
Maybe she should plug us on hers instead of us plugging her.
Right? Her downloads far surpassed ours. Congratulations, Mom.
Oh, that's impressive. All right, let's get going.
All right, sorry. So yeah,
You can tell it's the afternoon because we're both like, la, 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 la.
I just had coffee, so I'm really ready to go.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is Mundelein Minute. We are talking about the village board meeting number 3,246 on Monday, the 24th of January. Sounds about right.
Clerk called a roll. That's what,
That's
that's what you just sounded like. Jesus.
So quick disclaimer, it's my house and there's people upstairs stomping all over the place and
Listening to music,
and the microphones and the cameras are mine, and there's no taxpayer
house.
dollars used in the creation or distribution
I
of
look
the
like
podcast.
I'm so far away.
You are far away. But there's a big old I don't want that shelf over there in the camera, and if
It's
I
not.
tilt it just a little bit more, it gets in it.
Just make sure that you're front and center, okay? That's really what
Right. No, just I'll start leaning over here.
and then this is what people see, the open space.
Exactly.
Oy.
So my name is Eric Schwenk, and we always forget to say who we are until later on. So I'm Eric Schwenk, and I'm a trustee in the Village of Mundelein. And who are you?
Same.
You're Eric Schwenk.
I'm Kara, and I'm also a trustee in the Village of Mundelein. All right.
Perfect. All right. So at the board
do it.
meeting, all of the trustees were present. We approved minutes, rolled into public commentary, and we had 3 people speak during public commentary. One of them was Tom we met, and Tom talked about the statue that was being proposed, said that we shouldn't be spending money on it, and said that we should do like the police statue and take donations in order to get that statue put in place.
Yep.
Said he was going to stay for the meeting to hear how we all voted, and
Wait, what did you say?
he said he was going to stay for the meeting,
Oh, he didn't stay.
and
though.
then he didn't stay.
No.
And then there was 2 other people that spoke in favor of the statue, and both those individuals, Stacy and Joyce, are on the Arts Commission.
Yes.
And this they worked on this statue plan.
Yes. We'll talk
And
about it later.
We'll get to the statue. Don't worry.
Because that was controversial.
Yeah, it was very controversial.
So we'll get to that there. Let's go through this.
All right, presentations and awards. Chris Bergano was promoted to sergeant, and
Sister pinned him and his mom.
yeah,
I don't know about you, but I always get anxiety for them when they pin
Oh my
on the
gosh.
stars because I'm like, ooh, God.
Right.
And it takes forever because you're going through
I think
their
Trustee
shirt.
Wilson even said something like, "No pressure."
I
you
know.
Everyone was
His
snickering
poor
'cause it's
sister was like, I need to
"Ah."
practice. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah,
But-
no, it's always tough to watch.
I don't know if you listen to his background, but really impressive
Yeah.
background. So lots of work with the SWAT team in the area and tons of stuff. So the
Lots of high risk stuff, the
Yeah.
tactical stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Good thing there's people like him out there.
Right. Yep. So we did that, and I tell you, every time we do one of these where some kind of promotion or recognition of one of the officers or firefighters, whatever it may be, I love how the police department will come out.
The whole police department was there. I swear.
Yeah,
It was
not just those on duty, but people that are off.
And I
come
think there
to
may have been
recognize
other
it.
departments around too, because I saw
Yeah.
it's hard. I'm old and blind, but it was hard. I could see different logos on shirts
Right.
and stuff, so that it was.
I remember we did a promotion for a fire department individual not too long ago, and we had ambulances and fire trucks
Yeah.
in Plaza Circle,
Yeah.
just surrounding it because they come out to
It's
recognize
it's
their
cool.
own. It's
It
a
really
pretty
shows
neat-
a lot of camaraderie, and I don't know
Yeah.
if there's other careers that are like that.
Right.
Like that.
No.
When you get promoted as a flight attendant, do the
we don't
American
even get promoted.
do the American flight attendants support it?
No,
No,
Mm-mm.
exactly.
Nope, none of that. We did have a public hearing for Below homestead annexation, and that public hearing was just to continue
Yeah.
it to Valentine's Day. We get to have a board meeting on Valentine's
Isn't it the
Day.
state? Isn't the state of the state? The
State
state
of
of
the
the
village
village
on
on
Valentine's.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday, so.
And you get to spend it with the board.
Sweet.
We did have another public hearing, but that was later in the mayor's report. So the mayor's report, we did do the committee of the whole meeting call for Valentine's Day at 6:00.
Russ did say though, like, what do you love, me or Mundelein? And I was like, well,
Well,
there we go. When you put it that
you're
way.
gonna quarter me. We amended the social media policy. It's a village board policy, and
It allowed us to use another vendor.
yeah, so we added another vendor. We allowed the historical commission to have a Facebook page now. So some changes, but like we've talked about, government is big and bulky and cumbersome, and it literally takes the will of the board to create a Facebook page.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, so we
we
did.
did.
Whatever.
We amended the arts commission, lower the number of members of the arts
I
commission.
feel like that makes sense because when you have 11, that's such a cumbersome number to
yeah,
do. So
and it's something we can change in the future.
yeah, if
But-
the need arises.
yeah.
Correct.
The National Opioid Class Action Lawsuit Litigation Resolution.
Schwenk spoke out on this.
I did, and I think it's great. So there's 26 billion that's out
Yes.
there for communities to partake in, and we had to sign on to this through a resolution in order to sign on to it and throw our name in the hat for some of
We
that
should.
money. And there, it's kind of, when you read through the packet, the amount of money gets broken down in the percentage points, and the number of spaces after the decimal is quite large.
Yeah.
So we'll get money. We don't even know how much at this
Yeah,
point.
but-
And then there's also multiple ways to get it through the recovery fund from the state. The state gets some money. The municipalities get some. There's percentages and all that.
I mean, why
So-
wouldn't we participate in it? We've been affected by the crisis, so.
We absolutely have. And I think, when you look at what we've done, we helped through then Chief Gunther
Yeah.
create the A Way
A Way
Out
Out
program.
program, which is nationally recognized, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So then we went into the liquor control meeting.
that was a frustrating meeting.
It was frustrating, and my notes are over there. There was a couple. There was 4, and even Steve talked about how
This is the
most he's ever seen fail checks in one day.
Yeah, it's a little bit alarming,
It's very alarming.
and especially if you consider like who was in violation and their proximity to the high school makes me
So it was
more upset than I
2.
should be by that. Like
Right. One is CVS and one is Quick Pick
Yeah.
right across the street, and they're literally next to the high school.
Mm-hmm.
2 other ones, Emils and Tina, not
Hits.
Hits. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I spoke out, and I kind of heard about some comments online about this, that my comment I think was misunderstood. I spoke out during CVS's part of the meeting about how I would like these
$500 to a mega,
Wow.
mega corporation is not.
there's a lot of jumping and moving upstairs. Sorry, that's why I paused. But so our fine for first time offenders is no suspension and $500. And oh my gosh,
What's happening?
What are they doing? I think she's chopping something with the food chopper. And it's like
Yeah, that's probably
crazy
what it is.
pounding on the table or
That's
the
probably
counter.
what it is.
Wow. Living in the basement down here. So okay, so
Living in your mom's basement.
right.
You do own this house, right?
I do own this
Okay,
house,
sorry.
yes. So with the liquor violations, the first time, there's no suspension of the license. It's $500, and that's it. They pay their fine, they move on.
Yeah,
for
a small business, that's a big deal.
It can
But
be.
for like a CVS,
For
like,
CVS, it's nothing.
it's drop in the bucket.
But it still bothers me that it's such a small amount of money, and it's been $500 for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that amount of money just gets smaller and smaller as the dollar,
Yeah.
inflates.
I
So-
did talk to the village administrator a little bit after this because, like I have little kids and so do you, and it bothers me. And he said that, well, now what will happen is that these places will be rechecked and they will be like on the radar more. So like, I guess that's sort of a step
Sure.
in the right direction, but I do agree with you. Like we probably should reevaluate those fines and how that works. But I do think that this is all a result of the labor shortage. they're hiring people that they probably typically wouldn't hire, and they're getting them quickly trained because like places are just trying to survive.
Sure.
The other thing is that with COVID, all of the rules were like really relaxed, and people have like just gotten lazy, I think, with like checking.
And that could be, like that could very well be.
I just think that with COVID, you were allowed to like carry out booze, and you were like curbsiding all this stuff, and like everyone just kind of got like really lax about the rules. And like the DMV was allowing expired licenses and things like that.
They still are.
Yeah.
Right.
So so that's like, I mean, those are excuses, but I think that that's like what's happening. So
right.
Anyways,
right.
It's frustrating.
So we issued fines to four businesses. One of them, Emil's, was $750 instead of $500.
And they also got busted for gaming,
They
which
got
will
busted
go
for gaming
before the
too,
Illinois
yeah.
Gaming Commission.
Right.
Committee.
Right.
Commission. Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good.
Sure.
And then we went back to the board meeting. We talked about the, reimbursement fees for, oh my gosh, this was for the subdivisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is like SSA stuff, kind of, right?
Well, and this is the amount of money for, hi, Hazley. You coming to join the podcast?
And now there's a kid.
Now there's a kid.
Guest
See?
starring.
That's how this works. So this was fees regarding what it costs for subdivisions and for
Yeah.
for what the developer has to put up money, and then we have to invoice them, and then if they don't pay it, then we take it out of the amount that they've put up, and now we're just streamlining that entire process.
Got it.
Next up was the public arts purchase.
Dun dun dun.
Dun 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 is right. So we had a motion come before us, and we talked about this quite a bit at the board meeting because.
But can we just like back up? We had a motion come before us that like we had never
that's
heard
what I was
or
just gonna
seen
say is
before.
We had no idea that the Arts Commission was planning on public arts
sculptures, big sculptures like this.
Right.
This is where I took issue with it because I was like, there is no plan. You've not communicated to us that this was your goal, which I'm fine if this is your goal. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, that's not a thing, but you need to like communicate that this is what your plan is. Also, now we have one statue that's going somewhere.
Right.
To do, and then what? Like,
and that was what I followed up with, during our conversation was I want to see the broader plan. Are we making a statue walk?
Yes.
A
I just need to know what's going on.
Are we?
And the Arts Commission said like, oh, well, Cortland Park was going to be about that. Well, this isn't going at Cortland Park. So now I'm really confused. Like, what? So like, I just was a little concerned that we're being like, I don't know what the right word is, but like willy-nilly, like, and just purchasing this with no long-term goal for it.
Right.
I have no issue with the statue. It's really pretty. Like, it's a cool sculpture. I mean, a little bit of issue with like the naming of it, and it does have some religious undertones with the name, but that's going to be changed.
Right. And that was my main reason for voting no, was the name.
Yeah.
And, as I was sitting there in the meeting, I was like, okay, well, we have a motion before us to buy the statue. We're talking about it. Had we had the conversation about naming it first, that may have actually changed my vote.
Or had there been a presentation months ago saying that this was the goal and this is what we're looking at.
Right.
And then we could have had the conversation about, oh, well, let's rename it. And then this would have never been like a point of contention.
Correct.
Because we could have asked your question of like, can we rename it? And my question of, where is this going?
Yeah.
Could have been addressed before it was put on an agenda.
Sure.
So really weird situation. I've never seen one like this, like where we've gotten no background on something, like literally zero.
Until the time
of the meeting.
And Steve brought up some very good points. One, is there an ethical violation, if you will, for renaming an artist's statue? If the artist named it,
right,
can you rename that statue? And what's that
due to the artist? And it was.
And I was like, wow, that's a really good point. Sure, you can buy the naming rights, but ethically, is that something that can be done?
Right, exactly.
And I appreciated his question. And then the other one that we talked about, and even Tom we met brought up during the public commentary, was the budgeting for it. So this actually was a budgeted item. So it came.
So, well, like, let's sort of. They have a budget. It wasn't like we budgeted for a statue when we budgeted.
We did.
Well, no, we budgeted
for the Arts Commission.
Right, exactly.
But the Arts Commission budget line was for public arts and statues.
Fair.
So,
this is public art fair.
Right. So this was budgeted, and we created the Kracklauer Arts Fund for public arts.
True.
And
so it's a budgeted expense. So the issue wasn't necessarily the expense because
Correct.
it was budgeted for. This was monies that were already allocated. The Arts Commission has basically like pinched their pennies for 2 years to save their budget.
Correct.
And this was the result of that, was to be able to buy this.
Fine. Right. And exactly. And
no issues there. It's a budgeted expense.
It is a budgeted expense. So
the issues
were the placement.
Sorry.
The naming.
No, there's no issues.
And then for me, it was the religious connotation to it. And, you know.
Yeah. For me, it was just a no strategic plan.
Right.
I need to know what you're doing with this.
So I look forward to more from the Arts Commission. I look forward to seeing what other public arts pieces and if they're going to create.
I mean, I love the Mundelein mural. I love it. That is such a placemaking.
I love the mural.
That's such a placemaking thing.
The stars.
Yeah.
And having like the star walk and.
Awesome. Serves a purpose.
Right.
Awesome. Anyways.
So.
Whatever. That's the background on it.
It's in process.
And we lost.
We did.
Losers.
We did. And you know what always stands out to me is even if you lose, you can still move on. You know, we both have come to the realization that just because you lost, it's still the will of the board. It's still the public body, if you will. Mm-hmm. And
so you say your piece.
You say your piece. You make your vote. Whatever that vote is, win or lose, you move forward. And in this one, we said our piece. We made our votes. We lost. We still move forward, still put in our input about what that
the location,
the naming, whatever it may be, and you just move on.
So if anyone has questions after hearing our spiel, shoot us an email.
I'll flash it on the screen right here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
What should we put up here?
Yeah. Right. All right. So then we moved on to the Public Works Committee.
Oh no.
Yeah, not me yet.
Sorry.
So this was the public services for the North Lake Enhancement Program. So this is all the stuff behind the Lake Street properties for the parking lot, and this is for the engineering work.
Yep.
So that was a little over $31,000 for that
Which
professional
is
services
coming
agreement.
from, how are we paying for this?
That's with the federal money, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
I can't remember the acronym at the moment.
ARPA?
Is it ARPA?
Or is
ARPA
it,
funds, yeah.
Because CARES was already done.
Right.
This is ARPA. So many acronyms.
Yeah, federal government money.
Anyways,
I can remember
from
that.
the feds, yep.
Finance was up next, and bill payment was $1,053,390.69.
Pretty standard.
And pretty standard. And I want you to know I do not practice that number before I say it during the board meeting. It just happens that way.
I would have to practice it.
Yes, you would.
I get anxiety before every motion at every board meeting.
With any money in it, especially.
Any money makes it worse. But then I'm also the head of Public Works, so I never want to make the chiefs disappointed.
Public safety.
Right.
Yeah,
sorry.
Public Works probably has more numbers, to be honest.
Oh, God. No, but I never want to make the chiefs, like, disappointed in me. They're like, they're pretty intimidating.
They're pretty chill. Come on.
I don't know. They intimidate me, both of them.
Oh. All right. Well, you're up next. Public safety, go.
What was the first one? Was the first one the
parking sign?
Oh, that was just parking signs and stop signs. There's just nothing really exciting unless you want to orate on it.
So I will orate on it because it's a lot of no parking signs and stop signs and all kinds of stuff around Rise. And the businesses have been
complaining for a long time.
Yep, they have been. And we've made a lot of changes in that area and created parking lots, gravel parking lots, which we normally don't do.
Which will be paved in the spring.
Yep. More, we've created more parking restrictions in that area than pretty much anywhere else since we've been on the board. So it's something that's been a very hot topic for a long time.
And we know the parking over there sucks, but it is what it is. And we're trying our best to fix it via this, but.
And we don't have any clue from them that they're moving, right? They haven't said anything. Oh. They're expanding and growing in that location.
Right.
I think there's a kid listening to an audiobook.
Yeah, I was like, whose man's voice is that? Who's at your house?
So, right, welcome again.
I was like,
it's crazy noisy
is that
today.
Nick? No, that doesn't sound like Nick.
So we just had to do those parking restrictions. And
this is the motion I was.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll orate on this.
Please go.
Okay, so this was a motion to amend the intergovernmental agreement that we have with Countryside. So we have already a mutual aid agreement with them, of course, but this was to get use of their ladder truck. Right now we share services of Libertyville's ladder, the thing.
Libertyville's ladder
That's really
truck.
hard to say. Libertyville's ladder truck, and Libertyville basically was raising our prices to use it.
For standby.
Yeah, yeah. So, kudos to Chief Lark on this. Like, he went out and worked with Countryside and came up with a creative solution. I felt like we're going to be able to use their ladder truck, and in turn we're going to allow them to use more municipal water, and then also we're going to salt their driveway.
And water for trading.
Which I think is funny, like salting. Not even plowing it. We're not even plowing it for them. We're just salting it.
We're just going to salt it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay.
And the station
is right
Wilson
here on
asked,
Midlothian.
Yeah, it's the Midlothian station where the truck
station
is.
1. So this is a good situation. Like,
right.
Good job, Chief Lark. Sweet. So
it was some good out of the box
thinking for sure, which is what the village administrator has definitely challenged the department heads to think creatively, and I think that this is in response to that.
Yeah.
So having a new village administrator, I think, has influenced that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Gunther never listens to our podcast, because I always talk about like him doing a good job, so I hope he never listens.
And you don't want him to know that.
No.
Got it.
I want to keep him on his toes and working hard, okay? So, but this was a good out of the box thing. So, anyways, that's my
the ladder truck was one of the first items that got me involved in Mundelein politics.
Why?
I went and spoke during public commentary against the village for getting rid of the ladder truck that we had and selling it. And then
how do you feel about now that you're on the inside?
Oh, the inside. I don't have all of the numbers of what that ladder truck cost, but I understand that there was some maintenance issues with it and then ongoing costs with that ladder truck. And I don't know the staffing numbers, so I can't really say for sure. But at the time, even the last few years, I think we probably, it's hard to say because the Libertyville service agreement, still cost us money whether we used it or not.
Right.
We only had a couple of buildings in town. We'll probably have more soon.
Right.
We hope that would necessitate a ladder truck.
Yeah.
So I get there's some pros and some cons.
But the other thing is with having buildings in town, to your point of soon, is that the buildings that are being built, I remember, I don't know if you were in that, when we met with the fire department, but they talked about like how when buildings are built now, there's so many more codes and like sprinkler systems are installed and things like that like really help firefighters and their needs for like some of the more sophisticated equipment. So
sure.
Anyways.
Right. Exactly. All right. So that was it for public safety. And,
the blood drive went really well.
Oh yeah, 74 pints of blood.
There you go. So, and there's another one in April.
Yeah.
So start drinking your water now.
Yeah, right. Get hydrated. Nothing for building, nothing for transportation, nothing under other reports. We paid some bills for TIF notes and TIF payments for like the Fairhaven apartments and a purchase order for some legal services in the omnibus votes, and those all passed unanimously. And nothing from the village administrator, village attorney, village clerk, and that was it. We did have an executive session for land acquisition or sale of property.
And there was action after that.
Afterwards. So we came back and we
acted on what we talked about in executive session.
We acted, yeah, exactly. So we had purchased a property at 64 North Fairlawn, and we talked about this in the past when we bought it.
Yeah, and we bought it.
This was a property that's pretty run down and needed some help, so we bought that instead of just demolishing it and
having an empty parcel that we would have to like upkeep and
so we turned around and have now sold that to the Affordable Housing Corporation of Lake County,
and they will rehab it and gut
They're
it.
They're going to clean it out and fix it up and sell it to a family that
and we basically broke even on the sale.
Right, exactly.
So it was fine, and we were not in this buying it to make money. So
correct.
So that was it.
Yep.
And then meeting calls. We'll see you on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's the next one, right? Valentine's Day?
Nothing says romance like a board meeting.
That's right. It's dedication right there.
We both have kids, please. We weren't going to do anything anyways.
That's right. There's nothing on a Monday night, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's a sad Valentine's Day. So.
Yeah, we'll be at the board meeting.
Anything you got going on? You're about to fly to Miami.
I'm going to Miami tonight for work. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Just work.
It's warm there.
Yeah, but it's just work.
Oh, whatever.
It's airport and hotels. That's it.
I know. All right. Well, that's all we got. Team.
All right. We'll see you next month. I was going to say next week, but that's not accurate.
Okay.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.